Okay, so let's start with Coast Guard.
Yes,
They're on a 6-game losing streak.
yes,
Not so good.
no,
Struggling offense, if you want to call it struggling. They
yeah,
they can't get anything going. What do
yeah.
you
They,
make of what's happening?
I don't know. They have a lot of talent. They shoot themselves in the foot a lot. 2 weeks ago against MIT, they drove up and down the field and they had 2 field goals blocked. And then they were like 1 for 5 in the red zone. So they get down there, they drive up and down the field. They're leading in total yards and they like last week against WPI, they fumbled going into the end zone, or they keep having field goals and kicks blocked, which the head coach can't figure out why. He looks at it on film, but so they have a lot of talent. One of the things, and I don't know if this is true of Merchant Marine too, but so the COVID year, um, a lot of teams had guys redshirt after the COVID year. So like
Right.
the NCAA gave that year back to everybody. Well, you can't do that at a military academy. So Coast Guard's been playing people all year, Catholic and Springfield. They have like 150 guys on their roster, and Coast Guard has about 52 or something like that. So like they need to like catch up a little bit, get some recruits in. It just I don't know, like I guess the whole military academy is such a unique situation, but
Yes.
you can't redshirt. You're an ensign now. So they have a lot of talent, but it just hasn't translated, and it makes you feel bad for the kids.
Who work very hard. We know
Yeah,
this, on
yeah,
Academy Football Report that we cover Academy football and we
yeah.
hear that over and over.
Yeah,
You
they
know,
get up at 5
we-
o'clock in the morning and
right.
scrub the floor and do all that stuff before they even get to practice. So,
Right. Yeah, it's not about hard work. I wonder if you think it has anything to do with discipline, confidence, coaching. Where's the break?
well, that whole year. So say they had football last year, the quarterback was this young man, Tafari Wall. He's a junior this year. But so last year he would have at least contributed and gotten on the field and gotten some reps, and he backed up the quarterback last year, if not like shared time with him. And now this year he goes in cold. So now he's a junior. He starts this year. He's never taken a snap of college football before. And like I think he started out really strong. They won their first game up at University of New England, and then it just like I don't know if he was taking it personally. Maybe it seemed like he lost some confidence.
Mm.
He just wasn't connecting, and then they decided, okay, we're gonna run the ball more, and then it just never gained momentum for some reason.
Yeah, they didn't quite gel. And it's funny you mentioned Tafari Wall because that's where I want to go next. So Tafari Wall is out and Joe Armentrout, a freshman, is
Yeah,
in. Coach Grant made the switch about 2 games ago.
yeah,
So
during a bye week.
yeah, how is that starting to play out in your eyes?
So just when you're like, oh, Tafari, he's such a nice kid, and then they have a luncheon every week, every Wednesday, and so the freshman came to the luncheon of the week that he got named starting quarterback on Monday, and he came to lunch on Wednesday, and he's just as nice as the other kid. Like, he's from San Diego. He's very confident. So Tafari is like 6'4", and Joe is about 5'10", 5'9", but he has a quick release, and he's really quick. He can get out of the pocket and get a first down. Tafari's was like a real big kid, and he has like a longer release kind of, and this kid just gets rid of it real quick. And but so the amazing thing is that Tafari Wall has been this kid's mentor the whole season. So week 1 through 7, there's 3 quarterbacks on the team, Tafari and 2 freshmen. So now he's like the leader. He's like the ringleader of these 2 freshmen. He's telling them, oh, here's how to get to dinner on time. Here's how to march correctly. Here's how not to get in trouble at the Coast Guard Academy. He's like their hero, right? So now this kid comes in and takes Tafari's place, but Tafari is still acting like the same. He's still like their leader. They still look to him like, what do I do now? Even though this kid is a starting quarterback, Tafari's still like his hero kind of. So Tafari, CC Grant said that the very first day, that Monday, he tells Tafari he's not the starting quarterback in the morning. By that afternoon at 4 o'clock when they went to practice, he was his same old self, like his same gregarious self. He said he was still like, all right, let's go. And so now he's the backup quarterback, but he also started going in for like a few plays, like at wide receiver every game. So the very first game that he's not the starting quarterback, I think they were down 14-0. Tafari goes in at wide receiver, catches a 12-yard touchdown. The kid Joe throws him a touchdown pass in the end zone. He's 6'4". He goes up, he catches it, and just how happy the kids were for him, like the celebration after that touchdown was like they won the Super Bowl or something. Like Tafari came back down the sideline and he chest bumped every kid on the team. Like they were just so happy for him because they care about him so much. Like he's such a selfless kid that the kids care about him so much.
It makes me, Vickie, it makes me wonder, what does this say about him as a person, as a player, as a leader,
Yeah.
that the other players feel this strongly about him?
Yeah, because he worked so hard. Like he was out there all summer, like, okay, I'm going to be the starting quarterback. And he was out there throwing and, you know, he had spring football and he knows all the plays and he's waited his turn to be the starting quarterback. And now it's not him anymore. So isn't he disappointed? So actually for the next week's football luncheon, I had him come and I was like, well, and he's like, well, you don't have to be the quarterback to be a leader. That was his quote. Like, he's like, I can still be a leader. I want to do whatever I can do to help the guys out. He's like, I don't have to be the quarterback, but that's like his comfort zone. He's been quarterback his whole high school career, you know?
Wow. What a tremendous young man. Must be hard for him and the rest of the players, given where the Bears are, basically, essentially losing the entire season except for one game last year, not doing so well this year. Also been tough on CC Grant, ostensibly his first year as head coach, right? I mean, how is all of that playing out?
Yeah, CC. So he was on Bill George. Bill George was the head coach from 1999 through 2019, 21 seasons, and CC was on his staff that whole time. Actually, another Division III rivalry. CC went to Cortland and Bill went to Ithaca, and CC was on the Cortland staff, and Bill's just knew of him, and he's like, I want him to come here and coach with me. So he brought CC with him when he came, and he's been the defensive coordinator this whole time. And so he knows, what it's like about around Coast Guard and how to some years there's going to be adversity. They've had a few losing seasons, but they've had some good seasons too. So I think like he's a stand-up guy. He's very, he's got patience, and I think he'll be fine. Just, like that whole COVID thing. And then he was the head baseball coach before he became head football coach. So he lost a season of baseball due to COVID. Then he lost a season of football due to COVID. He's like gonna kill Bill for retiring, like right when COVID hit. I was like, oh my God. But it's just like a lot. It's a lot to sort out, but I think he'll do great. He's a great guy.
Well, we've got this, rivalry, Coast Guard and Merchant Marine. Why is this game so important?
I think the the two military academies. There's five, as you know, there's five military academies in the country, and Coast Guard and Merchant Marine are the two Division III academies that have football. And I would say they go after a lot of the same recruits, right? Like this week's luncheon, a kid was saying, yeah, it was between here and Merchant Marine, and so I'm sure they go after a lot of the same recruits that want to be in the military but still play football, but they're not good enough to go to Army or Navy. So there's a lot of great athletes on both sides, and then you don't realize how how intense it is until they really have a strong dislike for each other sometimes. I think they respect each other, and that they both are academies and they both work, they both put the work in, and they both represent the United States of America. But there's really a pretty good rivalry going on between them.
This is what we love about sports, and what we love about football, college football, academy football, of course, is those rivalries. I think they mean more at a place like a military academy than they do the NCAA at large. That's just my two cents. Any memorable moments for you from past Secretaries Cup?
Yeah, I was gonna say, so this is my 29th year covering the Coast Guard. And so I think when I first started covering the team, like I didn't realize, what it meant. And then in 1996, Coast Guard went down to Kings Point and won the game, and it got Coast Guard into its first NCAA tournament ever. And Bill Schmitz was the coach, and he cried after, and I was like, whoa. And Kings Point, like it was my first time going down there for the game, and they had bumper stickers that say beat Coast Guard, and they're like, oh my God, you guys, you've got a bumper sticker. And just like seeing the reaction when they won, and it got them into the tournament. And it was the final game of the season for a long time, and then they moved it to the beginning of the season, like certain conference obligations, but now they're in the same conference again, so it's back at the end. And then it's always around Veterans Day, and ESPN has been televising it as part of like their Veterans Day coverage, and it's only like amplified it because they have like professional announcers and everything.
It's kind of tough this year, though, because Coast Guard is in a down year and Merchant Marine is in an up year.
Yeah.
The Mariners' only loss was to undefeated Springfield.
Right.
And Coach Grant has said that Mariners quarterback Ian Blankenship is the most talented quarterback they'll face. So already, before the game has even begun, there's that big challenge.
Yeah, they went, and Coast Guard went to play at Springfield and lost 60-0 against the triple option. So now here they go against Merchant Marine, who runs the triple option. So the defense is going to have to do a lot better job than they did against Springfield. They're going to have to just really step up. I'm sure they learned a lot from that game. If it was, say, Guy's first game ever playing against the triple option or whatever, but I'm sure they learned a lot, and I'm sure they've watched a million Merchant Marine games on film. And then just because it's such a rivalry, you don't know what the score is going to be. Coast Guard won 10-8 one year. They didn't have as good a team as Merchant Marine, and Pat Bennett returned the opening kickoff for 80-something yards, and they won 10-8. So, but the last couple of years have been really high scoring. So, but
can I put you on the spot? First of all, who do you think's going to win? Do you dare say, and do you dare give us a score? I don't think we're going to see another high scoring affair, right?
Last year was so well played. Like even though it was COVID and that was the only game both teams played, like it was so crisp and well played. I was so impressed. Like they went from 0 to 60, because they were just like practicing. They, like, some of the seniors weren't even coming to practice, and then all of a sudden they went out and played, and it was real competitive. So I don't know. I was gonna say like 28, 27 Coast Guard or something to get all those field goals straightened out and all the defense on the same page. And I don't know, it might be higher scoring than that though. It's been really high scoring the last couple of years.
Well, whenever rivals get together, that happens though.
Yeah, yeah,
Throw all the records out the window, you throw all the tendencies out the window because the
yeah,
rivalries get
yeah,
together and then they
yeah,
just go at it.
yeah.
This game is going to feature the Station 17 uniforms. Tell us a little bit about those.
The Station 17 uniforms. This will be the fourth time that Coast Guard has worn them this year. So and this actually I had to look it up because they don't tell you exactly the year. But so there was a life before the Coast Guard was the Coast Guard. It was like the life-saving service. And they had a life-saving station at Pea Island, which is like in the Outer Banks in North Carolina. And it was the first all black life-saving station. And the commanding officer was a man named Richard Etheridge, and he was the first black commanding officer. And but he was appointed, I looked it up, he was appointed in 1880. So they have uniforms this year that are paying homage to the Pea Island life-saving station, which was station number 17. So they have it like on the helmets and on the uniforms, and they're like this really deep navy blue pants and jerseys, and then they have a set with like white pants and white jerseys too, that they wore on the road a couple times, I think. But it's just been really important to them to for this part of history. And then ESPN picked it up, and they're doing a big with their Veterans Day special. They're doing a big special on it. They actually went to Pea Island and did some filming there. And Coast Guard on the Coast Guard team, there's a freshman who's I don't know, great grandfather was stationed at Pea Island and was one of the commanding officers there, and they got like this connection, and it's really interesting.
That is fascinating. I was going to ask you if you had any knowledge of any players who either have any connection or who have spoken to you about what it means to be wearing those uniforms. I'm not sure if earlier in the season you had an opportunity to interview any of them, but what does it mean to them to be wearing something so historical, primarily the African American and players of color? What does it mean to them?
Yeah, and Cece is African American, and he's the first black head coach for football at Coast Guard, and so he narrated a video about it, and he makes fun of the sports information staff for keep interrupting practice to make him narrate. He's like, "What am I, James Earl Jones?" But it is really important, and to represent like the history of the Coast Guard, for them, and also they report that they're very comfortable uniforms, and they won the first time they wore them. So I think they like wearing them. It's something different. But
Vickie, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for taking the time. We know you're busy. You cover high school sports there. You cover Coast Guard. You do a lot in the community, I'm sure. And then we started off with technical difficulties. So thanks for hanging in there with me, and really appreciate you, and enjoy the game this weekend.
Oh, thank you so much.